Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-handed mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we are working on a Craftsman T2300, and I'm going to show you, in my opinion, how to remove and install a mower deck belt without actually removing the mower deck. So let's get to it. Okay, so you put your mower deck all the way in the lowest position, and hopefully it'll get down all the way to the ground so you can get your hand in here. Now, the only thing that this has that makes it a little bit tricky is instead of having covers, which is nice, they just put these metal posts up. We have one on this side, there's one on this side, and there's a couple on the other side. And then up front here at the engine, you have these fingers. Now, I do know that these fingers on this particular model, there's one on this side and there's one on the other side. If you guys are missing this or one's broken, you'll see the metal part bolted to the frame here, and then it breaks like right here, and you'll wonder why your belt keeps falling off. It's because you're missing the either left or the right. So keep that in mind. And I will put the model number of this machine up on the screen. And maybe it's close to your model number, but this machine was made by Husqvarna. Back in the day it was AYP, American Yard Products. But we're gonna go ahead and start up here. And you just have to lift up the belt. It's like a U hook, like a J hook right here. Just take it down out of that, swing it around. I'm just gonna reach on the other side and take it out there. And now there is fingers on these pulleys. If you can see that, there's a finger there, there's a finger here. Now that's what holds the belt on there, but we're gonna pull the belt. We're just gonna pull it up behind these. They're very thin metal and it's very easy to do. The hard part is right here because we have one on this side and we have one on the back side of this pulley. So we're gonna go ahead and just pry it up a little bit. It pops out. Now these can be bent out or in. You just have to make sure that when you put the new belt in, that it's tight like this. I mean, that's pretty tight, and what they do is they bend out a little bit, and you see how it flexed? And then that just keeps the belt from popping off when you disengage it. Okay, when you're running it, it's fine, but when you disengage it, that's why these guides are here. Come around to the back side here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna kind of wiggle it up past that. And you don't wanna bend these tabs out too far, because if you bend them out too far, the belt will fall off the back. All right, so let's go ahead and go on the other side now. Okay, so we have this pulley here, which that just goes straight across to the other pulley. We're gonna go ahead and just pick it up out of there. That was actually, this one here might be a little bit on the, this was so easy. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to tweak that in a little bit just to make sure that this doesn't pop out, the new one doesn't. And you can see right here, it's a little bit closer. And you can just use, you can use a pair of pliers, something low down here you can bend them with a little bit. Sometimes I put a socket on top and try to push it, but then again, underneath the mower here, there's not a whole lot of room to work, so it's a little bit tricky to get these things. And you can sometimes tap them with a hammer and just a little bit to make them go in. I might try that. So this one over here, it's a little, this one's tight, so pull that, try to pull this back and then flip it up. And we have, again, we have the big pulley here, which should have, there's a tab on the side, which is hard to see it, but there is one there. You can just feel it with your finger. There's only one tab. Comes out, and that's it. All right, so let's get the new belt. I highly recommend using OEM belts, but sometimes the machine gets so old that they don't have it any longer, but you can still get the belts. But just make sure if the belt's not broken, just check it to make sure it's close. Now I can already tell that the new one is shorter than the older one, and that just means that this one was stretched, and that's pretty much normal. So we'll start on this side and go reverse. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put one part of the belt all the way over to like the other side of the deck. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put that down in here. Now I'm gonna get a hammer. I'm gonna try to tap that in a little bit. Okay, now it's hard I usually put a socket on top, but because we're underneath the machine, I'm gonna try tapping this just a little bit in. Now, didn't do a whole lot, but it's not falling out. That's all you need, just a little bit. You don't wanna hit it too hard, and you definitely don't wanna hit your pulley here, but just be careful. You just don't want it to fall out if it's in the off position. Just go ahead and slide that one in, right like so. This guy here comes back around. Remember, flat part of the belt goes on flat part of the pulley, V part of the belt goes in the V part of the pulley. And then you have to feel for it, but there's a little tang right there. This has to go on the inside, and we'll try to get a picture of that from the other side, but you can see this one over here. There's two on that one. This one here only has one. And then now we're going to go on the other side, but since we're here, we can go ahead and we can loop in the front of the engine. Actually, you know what? Let's go on the other side and we'll show you the rest. Okay, so this goes straight across and we have this guide here. Now, if you're missing, with this particular model, if you're missing the guides, they may be broken or not. But just keep that in mind that you may see a stud somewhere on the bottom of the deck and it's missing the piece. But these are all good right here. I'm just gonna push that in like so, and around this little pulley. All right, so I got two little metal tags that have to go. And you can see the other one right here. This is the one that was on the other side. Make sure it's on the inside, just like these two here, all right, which we've done. And then we can go ahead and start wrapping it around the front. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the one J hook there, around, flip it over to the other J hook there. And that's pretty much it. Now, the only problem with doing it on the machine is that you can't check your pulleys. I mean, you can spin them, and these are good. You should probably do this while the belt's off, obviously. Check your pulleys, make sure they're not really loud, make sure they're not seized, because why did the belt break or come off or whatever? You just have to find that out. If you're just replacing the belt, this is pretty straightforward this way. Also, if you have the Husqvarna or this is the American Yard product machine, this should have two adjusters to adjust your deck height. And this machine here, I put an extra adjuster on it a couple years ago. So there's two adjusters. The other adjuster is a straight bar that is non-adjustable. So this is just a little hint that if you have the straight bar, it's a real easy swap out. I have a video on that to get two adjusters on both sides of your mower deck so you can level the deck out much, much better. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to look up the part number for your particular belt for your particular model. This is a Craftsman. The model number starts with 917. That is basically the old version of the American Yard product, and it's a 255810. Take your model number, go to Sears Parts Direct, and you should be able to look up your belts for this machine. The other thing you could do is if you open up your hood, a lot of the machines have a sticker, and then you can get your, it looks like the ground drive belt would be this one. The primary mower deck belt is what we actually just did on this machine, and this one's a 429636. Most likely that number will change to a different number because belt numbers usually change a lot. And I honestly like to use the model number from the back of the machine and look it up directly, because I've had problems where I take the sticker model or take the sticker part number and order it and it's the wrong one. So if you order through the model number of your machine, you're gonna have better luck getting the right one. I don't give part numbers for these because there are different deck sizes as far as the belt sizes go. So it's better to just look up the belt number by using the model number underneath the seat. So that pretty much wraps it up for how to install a mower deck belt on a Craftsman T2300. I would highly suggest adjusting the tire pressure, taking it out for a test drive, and then bringing it back in and leveling the mower deck out. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.